Thanks for coming out, everybody. Before we get started, can you guys, if you'd like to ask questions at any point during the session, it would be nice if you came up a little closer to us. We're going to do a little bit of talking, but most of the session is going to be a bunch of demos, and you're going to have questions, so feel free to come closer to us. So we're here to talk about talent and how to extend talent, how to make it your own. My name is Manav. I'm a product manager on Dynamics 365 for Talent.
I'm Apostolis, CTO for Dynamics and Global Black Belt for the Power Platform.
Cool. So we're going to first start off talking about talent. Just a show of hands, who here has never seen or played with Dynamics 365 for Talent? Okay, we got a few people. That's cool. So we'll give you a quick introduction. I'll walk through a real quick demo to show you what our apps look like. And then we're going to jump into the Common Data Service. Again, straw poll, who has never heard of the Common Data Service? Okay, we got someone. So I'll give you guys some context on what it is and what the power of what it provides is. And then most importantly, once we've talked about talent on CDS, the platform, we'll talk about how you can extend talent using the platform. And we'll go into some demos around that as well. So traditionally with HR, the focus has always been on how do we build experiences that meet HR needs, right? It's always been about the HR needs. Legacy systems that sort of have very rigid processes, very, very sort of strict controls. But when we started building talent, the focus that we had was we want to lead with the experience, right? It's important to meet the business needs, but we want to build the right kinds of experiences so the candidate, the hiring team, and the HR, they can collaborate with each other with modern experiences that are delightful to use, but it also meets some of their core business needs in a flexible fashion, right? Secondly, we at Microsoft have some unique assets such as LinkedIn. We have Office 365, we have Skype, we have Microsoft AI. And with talent, we've tried to bring all of those together to then provide this horizontal layer of intelligence across all of our applications. We like to think that intelligence is not the sort of standalone, analytics is not the standalone entity that you provide, but it really has to be a facet of almost every single business application that you build. And we've tried to sort of do that, and you'll see that in one of our demos. And lastly, and probably the most important, especially to this session, is that we were built on top of this platform that's extensible, that's powerful, that's built for scale, built to sort of meet those business application needs that you guys have, and we'll show you how you can do that in the course of this session as well. So talent, to focus in on that a little more, over the last year, we focused on two major products in our offering. The two spaces we focused on are recruiting and onboarding. The way they've manifested themselves within our product lifecycle is in the form of two applications called Attract and Onboard. A lot of you might be familiar with Core HR, but that's sort of our third application, which is where you complete all of your administrative tasks, a lot of your Core HR software. But the modern experience apps come to life in the form of Attract and Onboard. And they start all the way from finding the right candidate. And the way we do that is using LinkedIn. So you source candidates through LinkedIn, you find who you need to get. LinkedIn is the world's biggest professional network. It is the place to go. Once we've brought the candidates in, you come into Attract. We sort of help you build easy stages, custom stages, so you can screen and assess your candidates. We have intelligence built right into the application that helps recruiters, helps sourcers find, for a given job opening, if there's multiple applicants. We have intelligence that helps you identify the most relevant the applicants for the job opening. The most, like I've said before, we're built on top of this extensible platform that's flexible, that you can extend using Flow, PowerApps, and Power BI. And then lastly, we have this layer of intelligence and layer of insights analytics built on top of all these applications. Why is talent different? Using the platform and using the experience apps that we've built, We want to make it as easy as possible for you to set up. We like to hold ourselves to something called the 5x5, which is 5 seconds to sign up and 5 minutes to start doing whatever you need to do to start getting wowed. We're 100% cloud SaaS application, and the beauty of that is that you can access the product anywhere you want, anytime, and it's all built on top of this modern, delightful, intuitive user experience. And as I said before, I'm going to keep saying this again and again. There is the underlying platform that builds it all, and then that layer of intelligence as well. So this is what our architecture looks like right now. And for those of you guys that are familiar with Core HR, Core HR was sort of built for specific needs. It has that depth of stack. Our modern experience apps are sort of different, but they both sort of they come together with the common data service. Starting in August, we moved our first set of entities from Core HR into the common data service, and over time, we're moving more and more entities into the common data service as well. So I'm going to jump into a quick demo of Talent. Switch your screen.
It's number 6.
Cool. So what you're seeing here is our Attract application. This is what our applicant tracking system looks like. You bring candidates into the application, move them through the funnel, move them through the process, all the way from finding to attracting to extending an offer, and then eventually to hiring. I have a couple of jobs here, so let me go into one of them. I see that I already have an applicant, but I can also, for candidates that I've met along the process that are not ready to move into the applicant stage, I can also categorize them as a prospect. I can put down a bunch of details on the job title, job description, specify who my hiring team is going to be. So there's a recruiter, there's the interviewer, there's a sourcer, there's a hiring manager. I can bring them all in within the context of this one job application. Specify what the process looks like, and this is 100% customizable. So let's say that you don't have a pre-qualification stage. Maybe you don't like to screen your candidates. Maybe you don't like to interview them. You don't have to have those stages. You can customize the stages, add them, delete them, update them as you like, all from within the product. And then finally, once you're ready to sort of put that out to the world, we also have our own jobs board in addition to LinkedIn. And you can, with one click, you can post your job both to our internal jobs board or to LinkedIn as well. So let's go into this candidate's profile. I see that I have my stages set up. They've moved along the prospect stage, they've moved along the apply stage, and now are in the knockout/pre-qualification stage. I can see what their profile looks like. If they'd connected their LinkedIn, I would see their LinkedIn here, and any resume or any documents that they've uploaded, I can see all of those as well within the application. But let's say we sort of, Kevin's great. I like him. He sort of moved along and did great on the interview. And I want to move him now all the way to extending an offer. And now I would like him to start in my company. The next step in the process, and I think this is something where we as talent really want you to focus on, is that historically, the goal has always been, what can I do to get my candidate into the door? Right? It's always about once you hire, once their offer accepts, you sort of lose context. But we want you to focus on arguably the most important thing once that's done, and that's onboarding. Right? It's not just sufficient to get someone into the door, but once they're into the door, how do you make sure that you're setting them up for success? And the way we do that is using our onboarding application. So here, let's say I wanted to onboard Roberto. We have this concept of an onboarding guide, which is essentially a set of curated content that we provide to the new hire. It comes in the form of activities, which is a bunch of resources, a bunch of tools, a bunch of things that I think the new hire should do, things that I think they'll find helpful, things that I think will help them succeed and accelerate their productivity. we have a bunch of contacts. These are the people that you're going to be working with. We want you to stay engaged. We want the new hire to build these connections early and build these relationships early so they feel like they're part of a bigger team. And as part of our integration with Office 365, as I mentioned, we also have suggested contacts where you can use the power of Office to recommend contacts to the new hire as well. And finally, anything any resources that you might like, files, links, locations, you can all add that within the context of this guide as well, and then send that out to the new hire. So I hope this gives you a quick sort of introduction to what talent is. I know I sort of breezed through it, but that's primarily because this is cool, but it's going to look even cooler once you think of it within the context of Flow, PowerApps, and Power BI. So when Apostolos gets back to the demos, he's going to show these exact same applications, but with the addition of the Power Platform. Speaking of, what is the Power Platform, right? So the center of the Power Platform is in the data. The center of all of our applications lies within the data. On top of the data, there's 3 core pillars that form the Power Platform. There's the UI, there's logic, and then there's reporting. But the core of the Power Platform is essential. But when it really comes to life is when you think about what the layer around that is, right? And the layer around that is it comes in the form of all the applications that we provide that live on top of the platform. Dynamics 365 for talent is one of the applications, but you can also build Office 365 applications. You can build any of your own applications, publish them to AppSource, and still be able to leverage this exact Power Platform that's democratized and open and available to everyone. So what is the Common Data Service? The Common Data Service is a data platform that all of our apps are built on top of. They have standard entities that you can extend. You can sort of make them your own. You can build a bunch of custom entities. You can specify business rules. We have a strong security model built on top of it. You can model it, you can query it using Power Query for those of you that are familiar with Excel and the Power Query language. And then on top of that, for some of your some more aggressive, more pro developer scenarios, we also allow you to sort of get in there, write some code, and be able to get some developer extensibility as well. But it's not just the applications that live on top of the Common Data Service. It's also what brings data into the Common Data Service. We have a bunch of connectors, as you will see here, with SAP, with a bunch of third-party systems that integrate with the Common Data Service. So with Talent, I can not just play with my data, I can use data from Workday, from Oracle, from a bunch of other third-party systems, and bring that data in through custom mappings that I can define into the Common Data Service. So I can use that data within Dynamics, but the data still lives externally within third parties. The beauty of the Power Platform, PowerApps, Flow, and Power BI is that it's sort of a no-code, low-code platform, as we like to call it, which is to say that if you're not a developer and you're not sort of super technical, tech savvy, you can actually build a bunch of really cool experiences that are very, very deep from a technical perspective. But the platform itself likes to pride itself to be a no-cliffs platform, which is to say that if you don't if you want to get a little deeper, right? If you want to get that next level of extensibility, we don't stop you. There isn't a cliff. You're not going to drop off anywhere. You can use some of our pro dev scenarios using Xamarin, using some of the Azure services, using Logic Apps, to build those exact same extensions that you would get from Flow and Power BI, but with that extra level of customization as well. And of course, most importantly, it's all built on top of the Common Data Service. So let's look a little deeper into what the Common Data Service actually is. And I hope this diagram helps sort of illustrate what I'm talking about. So fundamentally, at the bottom, we have this operational data store, where you can define a bunch of standard data models, and a bunch of custom data models, and a bunch of extensible data models. The data into the data store comes from a bunch of cloud services, And the really cool part is that you don't have to be on cloud services. We even provide on-prem support to bring your data into the common data service through a real-time sync. We have a data API that as a developer you can use to extend the data service, use any of the ProDev tools that you're familiar with and build those customizations as well. And then on top of it all, there's a horizontal layer of the security model. Everything in there, Microsoft prides itself on privacy and security, and the common data service is no exception. And again, once we wrap it all up, the way you sort of really surface the value that the platform provides is by using Flow, PowerApps, and Power BI, and we'll make that tangible in a little bit through a bunch of demos. In the middle, the sort of the centerpiece of it all is you can see, is the common data model and custom entities, right? So let's talk about what the common data model is. The common data model is a set of business entities that are organized into modules. Each of our verticals, so as you can see, CRM, sales, service, finance, operations, all of them come with a set of predefined entities. So when you build your applications, it doesn't matter where the data is coming from. You know what the entities look like. You know what the schema looks like. You can trust the application that when you build something on top of it, these entities will always exist. You can add your entities on top of that. You can extend it. You can build your own custom entities. But you know that these standard entities will always be there. Entities, like the entities can have relationships. They have a bunch of attributes, metadata, which you'd expect from a typical data model. But this is the common data model, and this is sort of what it represents, right? This is what it represents for all of Dynamics. But for talent, it manifests itself in this form. So for those of you that are from CRM, the interface might look familiar. This is where we define our solution packages to the left, and then to the right, these are all the entities that we provide currently within talent. So if you're going to build, and Apostolos is already built, and he's going to show you, when you build flows, PowerApps, and Power BI reports, all of these entities are at your disposal, and we're going to push data into these entities and make sure that they're available for you to use. Cool. So moving along. So this was the Power Platform slide that I'd shown before. There's the UI pillar, there's the logic pillar, there's the reporting pillar, but let's dive a little bit deeper into the UI pillar. What does it mean for us to be able to extend the UI? We do it through PowerApps. So PowerApps it helps you automate your business processes. It helps you streamline your business applications development. It helps you make sure that you sort of reduce your dependence on paper-based processes and move on to modern web applications. PowerApps is meant to be developed for someone with not a lot of technical background. We provide these no-code, low-code capabilities to help you increase your productivity. The licensing costs, they have reduced licensing costs. They provide analytics, a low-code management platform, and a bunch of other goodies that you're about to see. But PowerApps comes to the play with a unique approach, right? It's how do we allow the average person to build these rich applications using a low-code, no-code platform? But at the same time, it's not about Dynamics. It's not about just our application. A lot of times, you're going to want to have to bring in a bunch of other systems as well. You might want to bring in SurveyMonkey. Adobe to Zendesk is what we call it. We have 230 plus connectors out of the box, and you can use any of them. It's built on top of the common data service. We have streamlined integrations with Office 365 and Power BI. Strong governance, a horizontal layer of security. And then again, if you don't want to do these no-code, low-code capabilities, PowerApps also has pro dev support. Get in there and write some code. It's 100% available for you. So this is just a quick image. I've talked about how we have those 230 plus connectors. A bunch of them are right here. Feel free to, this hopefully gives you an idea. But I want to sort of double down on that second point here, which is, PowerApps, it doesn't just support cloud services. We also support on-prem. So let's say your data lives on-prem, you can still connect it using PowerApps, bring it into the ecosystem, and then push that onto Talent as well. So we have that hybrid support for both on-prem and for the cloud. But, you know, I hope this sort of helps you give a little bit of context to what the Power Platform is, what the common service is, and what PowerApps provides. But I'm going to hand it off to Apostolos now, and he's going to show you guys a quick demo about how you can potentially extend Talent using PowerApps.
Thanks, Manav. Okay, before we start, I would like to set the scene with a fixtures company called Contoso Limited. Contoso Limited is an oil and gas exploration company based out of Venezuela. And their core activities are, of course, drilling and putting people on their drilling ships to have crew there on board and also in the office. So, and they have a yearly fleet management review meetings. And at this year's fleet management review meeting, one of the core issues which were discussed was around competency management. So they want to improve their competence management when it comes to certification, qualification, and readiness, and to be fit for duty before the people join the vessel or the ship, and before the people really start moving around the globe to start their sea service. Okay, so the good news is, of course, Contoso Limited has recently implemented Dynamics 365 for Talent, and they have set also strategically the Power Platform as their low-code, no-code solution. And they are trying to modernize and digitize their current process, which was based on an Excel sheet where they had a checklist which checks qualifications. Let's say if a seafarer has a certificate of competence, if they have a basic safety training, if they have all the passport information or the vaccinations and visas and so on. It was really a manual process by the recruiters, or even when they have already been hired. And it was all mentioned on a paper. So the sheet, which they have used before, looks like this. It was a printout of an Excel sheet where you have on the left-hand side, you have a number of competencies or certificates, plus they've been asking also for years experience in rank, years experience within a multinational environment, so on and so forth. So there was a documentation status which was then specified as okay, missing, renewal requested, or unknown, these kind of things. It was a very, as I said, paper-based and manual process, completely disconnected from the digital attracting and onboarding lifecycle. So they have decided to implement or to digitize this form with the PowerApp, and this is what I have done here. And for the sake of time, I have already pre-configured a PowerApp starter template for our purpose. Until this loads, let's talk about the underlying foundation for my PowerApp. It is, of course, built on the CDS for apps, or Common Data Service for Apps. What I've been done, and this is possible through the data integration platform in the CDS for Apps, I've created an integration project which takes my on-premise Excel sheet, which resides on my laptop, to transfer the data from my laptop into my cloud CDS for Apps instance through a on-premise data gateway. This is what Manav has mentioned before. So it's actually using Power Query for those who are familiar with Power BI and Excel and so on. It's reusing the whole framework and the learnings we have done so far the recent years in Power Query. So you can filter, you can create new columns, you can change the data types of the columns and so on. So I've prepared that. Then you can ask the system to either load the data in a pre-existing CDS for Apps entity, or it can even create one for you and do a delta load and a fresh load whenever new data has been provided into that sheet. Because this is a table, I can just extend this table and create new criteria here and use it as a template for my assessments. Okay, so there's a mapping and so on. So I've done this, it has been imported. And if we go to the entities, these are all entities currently available in the Common Data Model, not only for the Talent instance, but also for Dynamics 365 in general. So you see an account here, you will see a worker, you will see a different kind of entities making up this Common Data Model for each and every domain. Okay, so I've implemented this candidate competence requirement. As you can see, these are the fields we have seen also in the Excel sheet. If you look at the data has also been imported, and this is what we will be using as a base for our scenario now. Okay, so if we go back to our PowerApps, you will see here in PowerApps, who has used PowerApps or seen PowerApps before? Okay, that's good. So PowerApps, it's divided into a type of solutions you can build there. You can build canvas apps, which is like a canvas, a blank canvas, like in PowerPoint, where you have an empty page, and you can pixel perfect position these components on the canvas. This is what I've done here. That's why I said on the left-hand side, we will see a gallery control, which lists then all my questions in a Excel sheet kind of look and feel. And on the right-hand side is the maintenance of the record I've selected on the left-hand side, where I can set the doc status to missing, okay, and so on and so forth. So there's another form which we will see later on, which is hosting the reporting requirements. Okay, so as I said, these are all components. They are just defined like this. You can pixel perfect, move them back and forth like you are used to in a PowerPoint presentation. So if I undo this, there are a lot of red crosses here. Why is that? Because for the starter template, I've designed the template and then I have removed the whole CDS for apps entities. That's why they have no connection anymore to the database. So I can fix that quickly if I go to View, Data Sources. Here we have a list of data sources we can use in our Power App. Like Manav mentioned before, we have 230 plus out-of-the-box connectors. If you have a special system which is residing on-premise scenario, you can even build your own custom connector to that system to talk in a hybrid mode. So these are the ones which are configured currently for my environment, and these are the 230 you can make use of today. Okay? So for our purpose, of course, we are interested in the common data service. I select that. Then I can filter for candidate, which is so I need the candidates, which is the out-of-the-box common data model component from Talent. And we have our custom one, which we have defined, which is the candidate competence requirement. We select both of them and say connect. And like magic, all the errors will be gone on the left-hand side. Let's save, close, and reopen that application so the connections are properly set. Let's close that. And we reopen it. Then everything should be fine. Okay. So you see there are properties, there are these components here. If I want to look at the drop-down properties, I can define the first name and last name as a property to look up to. I can specify the given name. So these are all the fields which are available in the candidates entity of the common data model. Okay? So I have a primary email, alternate home phone, and so on. So I will be selecting the search field as the given name. If I run that up now, if I play that, I will see here a list of candidates which are coming from the common data model talent entities. If we have here a look at the talent experience, we have 3 applicants here and 1 here. So this is reflecting actually the list we see here on the drop-down. Okay. If I'm looking at Roberta Mendes, for instance, here I will see on the left-hand side all the items which have been pre-populated. So let's create a new one so you see that thing as well. Let's say we have a new applicant for the CTO position here. I create quickly a new applicant and I use Christina. I say add. Now it's real time. Whenever this record has been saved to the system, I will have it in my Power App available. Upon refreshing that list here, I will see Christina as part of the drop-down. Okay, now I can go to Christina. She's in front of me or she's on the phone, and I will do now an assessment with her about her qualification check, you know, certificate of competency, flag endorsements, these kind of things. And I say plus. It will initiate, it will go through the catalog I have defined in my Common Data Service configuration and pull in all the information relevant for this position, for this rank, ready to be filled out by the recruiter. So if I go here, for instance, advanced firefighting, not existing. As soon as I select something here, it's updating the record in the back. That is okay. That is no. That is requested, and so on and so forth. Okay? So this shows from a paper-based system, which was like this, printed out, really disconnected from the whole data platform and from the whole hiring and attracting and onboarding process later on, how easily we could really develop such a digital strategy for our competence requirement matrix and put this into place with the Power Platform.
Cool. Thanks, Apostolos. Cool. So you saw how we could. We started off with an Excel sheet, right? Connected that to PowerApps, sort of built this, you know, had this simple form, built this beautiful UI on top of it, and then embedded that and sort of connected that back with talent, right? So there's 3 layers of connections happening over here. Speaking of connections, the second pillar of the Power Platform is the logic pillar. And the way the logic pillar comes to life is using Microsoft Flow. Flow, for those of you that are not familiar, the way to think about this is, let's say you have one system over here, another system over here, and you wanted to build some sort of logical connection between 2 of them. The Flow is sort of tailored, like purpose-built for that, for those exact needs, right? That was a simple example. It doesn't have to be necessarily 2 systems. The logic chain for what happens when one triggers another, which triggers another, which triggers another, that can go many, many layers deep as you'd like. But essentially, Flow helps you sort of build these smart logic orchestration workflows so you can work smarter and work better, so you can do more and work less. So you can automate a bunch of your business workflows using Flow. You can have some very simple automation scenarios like the ones I mentioned where you just have 2 systems where something happens here, send an email when a survey is submitted, send a notification, or you can move to some very, very advanced complex scenarios. One of some more sophisticated scenarios that Apostolos is about to show. Again, has those 230 plus pre-built connectors, that strong security layer at the bottom, and that ProDev extensibility that we also have with PowerApps and Flow. Cool. So now we're going to go back to if you guys remember the demo that Apostolos showed with the competence management, we're going to take that to the next level and think of another scenario of how we need that extra customization.
Okay, so as you recall, we have done a PowerApps. The PowerApp information has been taken the data out of the CDS for Apps entity, which is a custom entity based on our competence requirement checklist. So now let's move it to a business workflow, a real case business workflow. So Contoso has a company policy which says whenever a recruiter does a competence check with a candidate, there should not be more than 3 violations of the certificate, either missing or doubtful and so on. And if it's exceeding that, then a managerial approval is of course needed. So and this is how what we're gonna implement now. Okay, so back in my design mode, I have here a button which is called Submit for Approval. Without me leaving now the PowerApps environment, I can start designing my business workflow. When I go to Actions, I click on Flows, and these are all the flows or business workflows attached to this form, or aware that this form is aware of at least. Okay, so in the sake of time again, I have pre-configured a flow, which I will walk you through now. So the first thing is flow consists of 2 core concepts. There is a trigger which triggers when a new record is created, a new document has been attached, or when any other event occurs, and is then triggering a series of actions. So the first thing, which is the trigger, comes, of course, from my PowerApp. Whenever the recruiter clicks on Submit for approval, this flow is initiated, and I will, as a first step, connect to my CDS environment, the correct one, of course, here CDS for apps, and I will update, and here are all the entities within the common data model and a common data service. So I will update my candidate competence requirements. I will set the status of that record in sent for review. So it's the first step in my workflow. Then after that, if this has been done, I'm initiating a real Microsoft Flow approval workflow. It has two options. One is basic, where if anyone in the list of recipients can approve, and there's another one where everyone in the list of recipients has to approve. So this is the simple one. Important to note here is that as a usability function, I will give the approver the option to get a link as part of the approval, where they can directly click on that link, and it will open the competence requirement which was violated, so they can review the document directly where it is, without copying again data, attachments, and Excel sheets, and these kind of things, right? The decision making where they have to do that. Okay, so then the approver either rejects or approves or reassigns that request. For the sake of this demo, I've concentrated only on the happy path. So when there's an approval and approval has been approved, I update again the status of that competence requirement record, and I set it to approved. After that, I inform the person who has issued that approval request, like the recruiter in this case, with a Flow mobile notification that the flow has been, that the competence requirement has been approved. Okay, so let's see that in action. We go here, we start that. Let's go to Kevin. Kevin has 1, 2, 3. Let's say we have another one. We put it on doubtful. Okay, so once this has been done, I've identified this is the 4th violation as a recruiter, and I start an approval workflow by clicking on Submit for approval. Okay, so if I go back now to my flow, and flow, that's the nice thing about flow, you can monitor the execution of the flow while it is running. You see there has been 4 seconds ago now a new trigger being triggered from PowerApps to flow, which is asking for a request for approval. So new status, the status has been updated of the competence record. If I go directly back into my PowerApp and I refresh, I see here, send for review. So this was the first step. We have updated the record directly in the common data model. Everybody who is consuming this information has that data, of course, right away. Okay, so our friend Edward, who is the accruing superintendent, has received a flow notification about an approval. Okay, so this is Microsoft Flow on the mobile device. Please review and approve the competence violation. I click on it, and this is where I told you I have given a link where the approver can first look into the application and review the record which was passed to the flow. Okay, I have to log in first. Come on. Okay, so it has disconnected, I don't know why. And then I can review that, I can reassign it, I can reject that. So if I want to add a comment here as well, let's say I approve that, and I say confirm, and I'll go back in my flow. 6. Okay, request has been approved. And as it executes again, it has passed this stage, an approval status has been updated, and it has been approved. If I go back to my application and I refresh that, the request has now been approved. Okay? I didn't leave at all my environment. I can monitor how long it takes. I can have exceptions if somebody's not approving within a certain time frame, if I have multiple approvers, if I have delegations because of sickness, these kind of things. So without me being a programmer or a developer, I was able to orchestrate exactly this flow in a couple of minutes, and also the PowerApps in a couple of, let's say, hours. You do that if you're really good and experienced in these kind of low-code, no-code environments, and not weeks and months. Okay, back to you.
So you saw there his flow is fairly sophisticated, right? But it still stays within the context of the Power App that we built. So first we started off with an Excel sheet, built a Power App on top of it, connected it to Talent and Attract. But then we found that Contoso, being the kind of company that it is, had this very specific scenario that you can't have more than 3 violations, right? So, it's sort of I'm sure a lot of you might relate to something like this, right? Where you might have specific certifications, specific licenses that you guys check for. If there is a pre-built connector, or if you'd like to build a connector, you can build those integrations and integrate that logic into whatever existing applications you use, in our case being Talent and Attract, right? So moving on, we saw the UI, we saw the logic, and lastly, but maybe most importantly, what really brings the data to life is the reporting, right? For when you have all this data that you're collecting about your people, about your organization, you want to be able to understand how your organization's functioning and be able to make those strategic decisions around it. And the way we do that is using the power of Power BI. Power BI, as many of you guys might be familiar, it allows you to build these rich visualizations, make a bunch of data-driven decisions. There's a huge library of custom visualizations. We support desktop, web, and mobile. It's not just the basic data-driven decision-making skills. It's also, if you want to do the advanced prep, a bunch of advanced data modeling, we have support for that as well. There's enterprise scale BI models, and also with the introduction of Power BI apps that you might be familiar with, we also have ALM, application lifecycle management support, in addition to multi-geo compliance. With Power BI, the true value comes in the fact that you can use your data, you can use any data in any way, anywhere. You can bring in your data, again, with PowerApps. You can also bring in your data from cloud solutions or from on-prem solutions, bring that into Power BI, do some advanced data modeling, do your basic data modeling, any kind of sophistication you need, and then sort of push them on into any of these pathways as you like. So any data, any way, anywhere, but now we're going to show you that anywhere is about to be talent.
Okay, thanks. So another person, which is the quality manager in the company, has instructed us as the low-code, no-code developers of the company to build a dashboard which monitors the violations or deviations, and to have better control about the hiring process and about the skill sets we are getting into the company. Okay? For that purpose, I've opened Power BI Desktop. You are familiar with Power BI Desktop? Yeah? Everybody? So very good. Okay, so the talent data and also the custom data entities we have defined and used throughout this scenario here is, of course, sitting on the common data service. So there's a connection I can do in Power BI. If I look for a common, there's a common data service for apps. Please note the beta behind that. Okay, so if I want to connect that, which I have already connection here to the common data service to my environment, it tells me that it's a preview connector. Then it's connecting to the API, which the common data service exposes to us, where we have all the entities available for us. So we have the common data model, and then we have the custom entities. So if I look for a custom entity which is called competence, I should see my candidate competence requirement. Okay, so I can start here. I can edit the query. I can transpose or whatever I want to do with that information. But I say load for that scenario. And then on the right-hand side, you will see that I will get all the entities which are part of the common data model for the competence requirements. Okay, so these are all the fields. If I want to import now, for instance, a custom visual, let's say I want to have a chord chart I can add that here. Okay, put it on canvas. Then I say it goes from the document status. It goes from the name. Let's enlarge this a little bit. So I have my name of competence to this, and I say the value is then the count of that. Okay, so why is that showing it? Maybe it didn't refresh. Okay, so this is what I've pre-configured here already. So the quality manager of the company has told us he wants to better control the safety and health monitoring, professional requirements or SCCW requirements, and also the average experiences in rank and on the vessel type. Okay, so this is very simple. What I've done here is, as you can see, these two fields I've connected here, and then I have set a couple of filters. So the first one is only the business relevant, so flag state endorsements, ship-specific familiarization, and so on, and can publish this to Power BI. Once I'm fine with that, on the right-hand side, we see also the candidates I have for all these positions and all these competence checks. I select my workspace. Yes, I want to replace. Takes a second. So I can look at this on powerbi.com, where all my online versions of that reside. Okay, so here I have the live side. I can filter, I can search, I can do interactive things as I like. I can go here to Power BI, to the report itself, or I can edit the report here as well. I go to the quality manager report, and then I can say pin as a live page. So back on my dashboard, in the candidate pool statistics, I have a couple of things as the quality manager requested from us. I have OCR, word clouds, and so on. And here's also our dashboard. Okay, so back in PowerApps, that's nice that it's sitting there on powerbi.com, but I don't want to leave, of course, my PowerApp environment as a quality manager or even as a recruiter. I want to have this, of course, embedded in my PowerApp. So back in PowerApps, this is the reason why I have a second page here in PowerApps. So here there's a BI tile. If I say insert controls, there's a component which is called Power BI tile. This is the one you see here. And this I can connect to data, which I have just posted to powerbi.com. So we have the talent extensibility. It has the candidate pool statistics, and then my quality manager dashboard. Okay, you see that? So I have to save because it has to authenticate. Publish. The connector, if you are using a connector out of the box connectors, they are using single sign-on. You have, once you use them the first time, you might have to close the application. So it's it's granting access the next time when you access it. You will see this now. So if I refresh here, go to my apps, I refresh, and I reopen my application in edit mode. Okay, here I see then the Power BI, it is loading, and I have access to the whole thing. If I want to run this, I can run it as well, and this is then even more embedded experience. Power BI in PowerApps and Flow. So Power Platform all together.
Awesome. Please. Well, so the three demos that we've seen so far, if you've noticed, it was all about how can we bring in data from Talent into Flow, PowerApps, and Power BI. But we haven't seen Talent applications in any of those three demos, right? We wanted you to give you sort of those building blocks to see how you can still stay within these the Power Platform applications, but bring in the data from Talent. Now we're going to do one last demo that sort of brings it all together, which is now that we have these rich applications, we have rich extensions that use Talent data, how do we integrate that into an end-to-end workflow within talent, right? I'm going to hand it off to Apostle one final time for that end-to-end demo.
Okay, thanks. So as Manav said, all these building blocks are nice. So you know now the composition of just such a workflow. But the power of the extensibility of talent is really the exit or the webhooks it has where the information is most needed during the attract process, during the application stages, the onboarding, and so on. So taking our PowerApps now and going back to our attract system. So here I have different jobs, right? And the jobs, they can be based on a job template. I have defined a job template for senior officers. Please note the extended at the end, which for each and every role or rank in a company, you can have a different kind of hiring process, right? For more senior personnel, you might have also panel review and panel interview, these kind of things. For lower or blue collar workers, you might have an easier kind of approach to the hiring process. So this is what I've defined now for the senior officers in an extended mode. We have the enablement of prospects. We have an application stage. And then here I have embedded a pre-qualification competence check, which is kind of a knockout and pre-qualification. If someone doesn't hold a valid certificate of competency, I don't want even to consider him or her, okay? This is very strict because if I don't do that as a company, as a ship management or ship owning company or an oil company, our drilling vessels or drilling ships or vessels will be detained. Okay, so there's a fine for hundreds of thousands of dollars and loss of many, many other things. So it's very important, this small step for this industry to be checked up on. So most of the HR systems historically in the oil and gas industry, in maritime industry, they are called crewing systems because all these flavors which are relevant to seagoing personnel, they cannot be one-to-one covered in a normal HR system, right? And this is what makes talent here so powerful, and the extensibility option, you can make it work. That's why we have chosen to take this scenario here from an oil and gas industry. You can take the aviation industry, whatever is about crewing and certification and so on, you can really apply that here, and you have the capabilities to control your process end-to-end. Okay, so as I said, I have a job. I've defined my job template. I have a job which is called here Captain Generation 7 Drill Ships. If I put now I have the application here from Kevin Papaioannou. So it has a prospect stage which has been completed, an application stage, of course, the person has required this. Okay, let me just make a new one so we see that better. So I create a new job, and I can base it, as I said, on a job template. Captain, my role is the hiring manager. I add it. Now it will give me a list of templates to choose my hiring process on. Okay, so I select senior officers extended. Okay, I can put some text here. Just job is in Venezuela. It does also look up to different areas. I have seniority level, it's a director, and that's it. So let's save. If I go to the process, here I see the process templates. I can extend that process. I can put another PowerApp here. If it's something specific, let's say I'm hiring for a very old drilling ship, which needs special attention and special certification, I can even embed this kind of experience here. And then I say activate, okay? Once it is activated, I see here also the prospects area. So if I create now an applicant, let's say Christina, my favorite. So I put Christina here as a captain's applicant. This will trigger the process. So the first thing is it was a prospect. Now she has applied. I've completed all the personal data. And here is the embedded experience now for the knockout and pre-qualification questions. Okay, so I can select here Christina again. And I see directly in the hiring and attracting and onboarding experience, without leaving again the environment, my extension here. Okay, I have Flow, I have Power Platform, I have the CDS for apps. This is a very important thing, right? PowerApps, Power Platform, it's just a glue. The heart piece of this whole thing, and I think this is the extensibility thing, is our common data model. The capability to expose business entities to internal and external audiences, that's really unique. What we have done, and with all these out-of-the-box connectors, this enables this as well. And Talent being a first-class citizen, of course, in the whole Dynamics 365 suite, we have this attention here as well. Okay, so I can create here the same thing. It's interactive, of course. I don't have, you remember this nice Excel sheet before. I mean, it's a little bit a different experience to have this here on paper, or sitting in Christina sits in front of me and I can complete this kind of thing where I see the documentation right away without, this disconnect. And everybody is aware right in the beginning what has been collected so far. My quality manager can check this on the quality dashboard and so on. Okay, so now fast forward. Let's say she has passed the screening and offer extension and has accepted the offer. We go now back to what Manav has shown before, which is the onboarding experience. Again, the onboarding experience, like the Attract experience, you can define templates for your either jobs or for your onboarding guides. I have defined another template here for captains on a 7th generation drill ship. Okay, this is a template, as I said. I can change this. So there are introduction, a little bit of text, and what is very, very important now is the activities. Okay, so if I preview that guide I want to send out to my friend Christina, I sign in.
And we're going to see this from the new hires view versus the manual view.
Now this is Christina. She's being sent an onboarding guide before she starts with the company, so she can get ready for the things we will see now. Another 5 minutes, and then we're good in time. So this is the onboarding guide. Okay, a little bit of text. Now what's very important here is, again, the stages you can define. This is not a pre-qualifying, this is now a pre-joining check. Okay, because Christina is a captain now on one of these drill ships. She has full responsibility of everything, of course, which happens on that ship. So, and the nature of the seagoing personnel is, of course, the diversified nationalities and these kind of things, and cultural backgrounds, financial backgrounds you will face in a very small environment, in a very tough and high-pressure environment. So it's very important to give her the tools to understand the cultural situation currently on board and to prepare her for thought leadership and these kind of things. So what we can do, again, through the extensibility, directly in the onboarding guide, she will have access. Let me enlarge this. She will have access to the crew cultural distribution on board because she knows the crew list, okay? She will say, okay, on the date on sign-on, you will have, for instance, so many Germans. You have 4 Germans, they are in these roles. You have the Filipinos, which are in these roles. You know, within each month, if I want to filter that down, it's a Power BI dashboard actually, you know, between this quarter, for instance, who will be joining your ships, and directly in the onboarding guide. You give her the option, because once a person, a captain or a senior officer is on the rig or on the vessel, there's no time for this stuff, okay? Because it's 24/7 operation and high pressure. So you give her the tools to be ready and to have a successful onboarding experience and a start experience within a company. Okay, so this is one option you have in the onboarding guide. The next option is you can have also a PowerApps hub. Okay, so here, for instance, there are multiple risk assessments you can do. There's review the vessel emergency evacuation plan, a tour through the office, and these are all within the first day, first week, first month. Or even you can have another PowerApps here embedded in that experience, which then says, okay, do you want to refer somebody else for a job? Okay, so this is completely customizable, this whole thing here. If we go here again, you see there's a PowerApp. I can connect here. Either I can select from a list of PowerApp already defined in my Attract experience, or I can create just a new one. If I go here to my PowerApp, I just have to go here to details, and then I copy the app ID. That's all I need in order to be referenced here in the onboarding guide and put it here. Okay, so single sign-on again, no security breach because you are sitting on a very extensive security model on Dynamics 365, of course, the common data service and everything. Really having a unique experience, I think, and a very powerful experience for our crew on board. Okay, so I have another thing, another demo which is showing a little bit the art of the possible. You can take this also to the next step when it comes to user experience, which is using also a little bit, not a little bit, quite some artificial intelligence and stuff around, profiling and sentiment analysis and entity linking, these kind of things. So now let's imagine, you are a recruiter. You're recruiting for Contoso, the oil and gas drilling exploration company, and you're receiving a new CV of Melvin Welker in this case, who wants to apply for a master position. This is Outlook. I hope everybody knows Outlook in the room. So you can see here, as the left-hand side is all my Outlook. Okay, so I've received now this email today with a new master mariner CV, Melvin Welker. Now, the traditional thing is you download it, you put the attachment somewhere, or you print it, you hand it over to somebody else, they scan it again, they make their notes and these kind of things. So now directly in the Office 365 experience, Outlook in this case, I can define a Office add-in, an Outlook add-in, which triggers a PowerApp here on the right-hand side, connected to Talent completely. So I have full access to all the positions, live and real time, which have been defined now in my Talent and Attract experience. Okay, so I can say now, let's review without leaving anything. I'm in my Outlook, which I'm working 90% of the day through Outlook. I can preview that document. It can be a PDF or whatever. I say here Melvin, and then Welker. I want him to be considered for the captain. Let's see this. Very short email address, I know. Okay, LinkedIn profile if you want to have one. Okay, this activates it. I can directly click on that, and everybody else. I have here a rich experience from a control perspective, and so on and so forth. So mobile, if I want to specify this. This is not my mobile number, so don't call me. If it's some friend not related or so on. And here now important, I might receive a lot of information, cover letter, resume, reference letters. I'm especially in oil and gas and marine, 50 certificates of this and that. I only want to capture the important information within my talent database, which I can make sense of as well. So the recruiter here decides just to copy the experience and a little bit the intro letter. So once I submit the candidate, what happens now in the back? Okay, so as you can see, thank you, everything is fine. A new candidate has been proposed to the system, but by submitting your candidate, we quickly search different subsets of your data while applying a set of sophisticated algorithms to find, for instance, things like the sentiment, to find, to extract keywords, to extract key links. So it does a Wikipedia search actually with Bing, and it provides us links to particular word. If you're looking, for instance, for BTM, what does BTM mean? You don't know that as a recruiter because you are not of that expertise. But it will give you a bridge team management link and explanation with a direct link to Wikipedia. We will see this in a second. Okay, so what has happened now here in the back, it's actually a very sophisticated flow which has been executed without any coding. Okay, so let me show you that flow. So there's a flow here which is called talent referral processing. If I edit that, oh no, let's not edit that, let's go to the execution. Maybe it's still executing. You see it's still running. It runs approximately 2 minutes. So what this thing is doing here, it is capturing the data, of course, from my Outlook add-in directly in Talent. It defines some parameters. It gets the job information, the current stage I want to propose Melvin to. It creates a candidate in CDS, it creates a job application activity, and so on. And here, very important, it detects the language, it detects the sentiment. This is all cognitive services. It detects key phrases out of it. And this is something with the linked entities. I've just told you this is something in preview. So I've defined a custom connector to call an Azure API, a cognitive API, okay? And all this information, because I'm sitting in the common data model, are saved as entities next to my candidate. So you might have seen them before. I have here a couple of custom entities which are called analytics, entity links, key phrases, and so on. So I have also another algorithm which compares the profile with my jobs I have in my database. So you might have proposed him or her to the captain's job on that drill ship, but you might have a better position in your database on another type of vessel, better matching the qualification. And these kind of recommendations are done directly with this flow you have seen in the execution. Okay, so fast forward, I can here have a look at the insights. This is here the flow. Okay, thank you very much for all automation with email notifications and so on. So the candidate has been informed that a new application has been received. So if I want to see the insights for Melvin, I can open my experience here. I go to my previous proposals. And here I see all the people me as a recruiter have proposed to the system I have sent to the ATS system. We have, of course, here Melvin Walker, proposed day today. The details, whatever information I have provided here, and now very important, the AI insights. Okay, so the algorithm here says that the proximity of the profile I have submitted to the system to the job position I have selected, this is a 27% match. Okay, so it's quite a good match, and according to the data I've selected already. Then the next thing which it does is it checks the sentiment. It's neutral, 0.5. The next thing is what I've told you before is the entity linking. This is now really Wikipedia pages which have extracted from the text. Okay, so I have a text here in the CV, in the supply text, for instance, cadet, merchant navy. So and these are Wikipedia URLs which are automatically proposed by the Bing search. Next thing is the key phrase extraction. Okay, so imagine now you want to have a ranking to see what were the key phrases within the document. If they're always mentioning, for instance, a specific drill ship type, so you know they have a lot of experience in this. You can, from this little text we have just provided the system with, we can get a lot of insights out of it without doing anything. This is not rocket science. This is just, I mean, it's rocket science behind the scenes. Yeah, what Asia is doing, but not our rocket science. We are just normal people, right? We are just using these services. And again, that's the ecosystem which makes this possible. Okay, so, and there's all the algorithms which have been applied: sentiment analysis, Jakarta similarity coefficient, and key phrase extraction. Okay, if we go now back to our talent solution in our, on our job. So we have here a job. No, that was not one, it was this one. So you see, we have applicant, this is what we have done before. But now, since this is a referral, I have entered them as a prospect. From here, I have Melvin Walker, I have all the documentation supplied, I have all the information which has been extracted from the AI capability directly again in a tract where the hiring manager or another recruiter specialized in this type of job profile can start progressing and have recommendation about best possible talent. I hope you liked it, and back to you.
All right, well, so that was the end-to-end demo. So we started off with PowerApps Flow and Power BI, built those building blocks, brought that data in, and then now we sort of saw how we saw the end-to-end flow within a tract and onboard, right? So that's most of what we had. I wanted to call out that we have a few resources, session resources.
Yeah, maybe one thing, exactly, very good point. So the app you have seen, the Microsoft Flow, you have seen what we have produced now in our initial demo. You can download this from my GitHub repo. There's also the Excel sheet. there is an export of the PowerApp and the flow. Okay, if you want to play around with that.
Highly recommend getting the GitHub repo.
For that to work, you need CDS for apps. So you need a CDS 2.0 instance. Otherwise, it won't work because you will not have the entities in your environment. Give it a try and contact us anytime if you want something to show your customers or for your internal purposes.
All right, that's thanks for coming out on a Friday morning, last day of conference. I hope you found this useful. If you have any other questions, feel free to download the session deck. Both of our names and emails are on there. And yeah, have a great Friday. What?
The evaluations.
Oh yeah. Well, evaluations. Thank you. If you'd like to give us some feedback, that would be great. We have 5 minutes for questions. So if you guys have anything for us, we'll be happy to answer right now.
I have one.
What's up?
What do we have to do to get started with talent, to play around with talent?
Go to trials.dynamics.com and get started. We're a SaaS application, 5 seconds to sign up. Email me if that's not the case. But yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Thank
you
you
so
guys.
much.